Kielebocha. I know a little bit, Twana MEC. Let me greet all of you and welcome Program Director. Thank you for the opportunity. Minister of Home Affairs, Dr. Motsoaledi. Also our MEC, our host for today. Thank you for agreeing to have the dinner tonight. We look forward to that. You don't know the MEC. If she says something is not going to happen, it will not happen. Also to our Tourism Business Council of South Africa. TBCSA is the first acronym that I learned. To Blackie, to Chief, and to all the board members. I like this industry. There's a lot of informality. So we're all on first names. Also, a membership of the members of the Diplomatic Corps, the South African Tourism Board Chairperson, and the management of South African Tourism, Tim Harris, our Director Generals from Tourism, Transport, and Home Affairs, and all government officials, our Statistician General of South Africa, Mr. Maluleke, the UNWTO Africa Director, Elisha Grandcourt, and also the Special Advisor to the UNWTO Secretary General, Ms. Anita Mandirata. She loves South Africa all over the world, is one of our best ambassadors. Then also to the TOMSA board that's here, all the CEOs and the representatives and tourism bodies and authorities, government departments, all the CEOs and all from the private sector, members of the media, Dumalang. Good morning. I must first tell you this little bit. The first two people I met 2 days in the office was TBCSA, Blackie, and Chief. And I don't even know what the acronyms stand for. And we're sitting in this meeting, and they're briefing me, MEC. But once they started talking about some problems, I said to them, oh, no, man. It's unfair to bring it to me. I'm hardly 2 days here. But if you have the solutions, we can work together. So that is like fresh in my memory. So it's great to be here with you, and it's a pleasure, really. I looked forward to this day. Under your theme, Tourism, the Engine of Growth for South Africa. I have long since believed in the power of tourism as a major part of our economy to help us to grow our economy. It's been very exciting to be part of this sector when it's bouncing back after the devastation of COVID-19. And it's very excited to be part to see the growth of the sector. Because last year we saw the sector bounce back with resilience. And for that, I want to thank all of you in this room, and I think you need a great round of applause. Well done. I also want to take a moment to thank Stats SA for the reliable figures. And last week we waited for the second quarter results, and as we expected, we've seen even further growth. So thank you to Stats SA. You know, I have been blessed to see so much and a lot more of our beautiful country. But as I'm thanking all of you today, and as we speak right now, there are many men and women out there right now at our airports, at our hotels, at our restaurants, and our companies, at tourist attraction, and all the many other special offerings that our country has got to offer. They are busy working right now. So we must always also pay our gratitude to them. We are here today to take hands and to act on a collective mission. My experience in working with TBCSA, I must say, Blackie, that you can walk the talk. And it's not all just about talk. So today we are here to take hands and further explore the potential of tourism in our country. Tourism can indeed be an engine of growth in our economy. And in fact, it is a key part of our economic reconstruction and recovery plan announced by the President in 2020. I would just like to share with you some key updates. It's also time to account, like Blackie is saying. Accountability is very important. Because in government, we believe that it is the role of government to create the conditions conducive for the private sector to create jobs. And that's where the partnership is so critical. Now, I have learned such a lot. Every day I'm learning. And I'm learning by engaging with so many sectors here in tourism. So let me start with the tourism sector recovery plan. We all know that in March 2021, Cabinet approved the recovery plan, after consulting with the private sector and all stakeholders here today. So when I took office, the President gave me 4 priorities. And one of the priorities was to turn the tourism sector recovery plan, use it as a basis to develop a master plan. So I'm pleased to report to you that we have engaged with you, you've made your input, and so there will be further engagement. So I'm taking the master plan to Cabinet on Wednesday, the 13th of September, to seek concurrence from Cabinet so that I can gazette the master plan for further public consultation. So please watch out for that next week. We have also gazetted on the 1st of September, the Green Paper. And again, I want to thank all of you for your inputs into the Green Paper, but we've gazetted it on the 1st of September for further public participation. Another update that I can give you is the Tourism Equity Fund. We all know that this matter has been stuck in the courts for many months. This matter has now been settled, and the Tourism Equity Fund framework will be before Cabinet on the 13th of September for approval. And once again, I want to thank the private sector for your input, because now we can begin to look forward to release the 1.2 billion rand into the tourism sector so that we can drive the growth of the sector and transformation. Just on the National Public Regulator, Transport Regulator, again, a few days in office, when I met with TBCSA, around the issues of the tour operating licenses. I also spoke to David Frost from SATSA, and we agreed that we need to contact the Minister of Tourism for a meeting. Minister of Transport, I always mix the two up. Always. Minister Chakunga agreed to a meeting, and in that meeting we persuaded the minister to, because of the complaints and the harassment of tour operators, that the minister must engage with all the MECs in the various provinces to put a moratorium on this harassment and victimization of tour operators. I can report that that has happened. The Minister of Tourism, Minister of Transport, yes, he's all in the mind now. The Minister of Transport did that, and we want to thank Minister Chakunga. There was also consultation with the private sector and some road shows around the tour operating licenses. But there are also some tour operating licenses that still need to be collected. And I know that David Frost is working on that so that we can get those licenses to the applicants. We also do know that there are still, currently there is a backlog, but I can assure you that the Minister of Transport has put the necessary systems in place to process the application for tour operating licenses quicker. On the issue of visas, Minister Motsoaledi, I'm so happy that you are here because they harass me sometimes. But I can tell you, Minister Motsoaledi, in my first week, when I asked Minister for a meeting, because I said, Minister, I don't have the answer for all of these visa questions. Minister agreed. We had the meeting. I invited TBCSA. They were in the meeting. I said to them, I'm not a messenger. You're going to ask the minister yourself today. Minister, thank you for that meeting because it really, Minister could show us, he showed us a world map with different colors and the different visa status of the various countries. And we shared that information, Minister, with TBCSA. And then thereafter, we have been working with the Minister's office also to get us more information. If I need a question around visas, there's a good partnership and working relationship between the Department of Tourism and also the Department of Home Affairs. So thank you, Minister, for that. We are really committed to work with you on the visa applications. Now, another one that's being spearheaded and led by TBCSA is the Safety Forum. I can recall I had my first call to talk about safety of tourism with Michael Tolman, and Michael was in London. But Michael then informed me that there is a 2018 tourism safety strategy. I said, thank you, I didn't know. So I said, let's get into this 2018 strategy, dust it off, because people are saying COVID came 2019, 2020, so not all the issues were implemented. Together with TBCSA, we then put together our first Tourism Safety Forum on the 29th of May. And thank you for TBCSA because they also sponsored the event. We took this 2018 strategy and we drew up an action plan, point by point. And we agreed that we are going to meet on a quarterly basis. So our first meeting was on the 29th of May, and we had our second meeting now on the 29th of August. where we were able to report back on this action plan. And here's a wonderful partnership between the public sector and the private sector. The Safety Forum is attended by all the MECs in the provinces, South African Police Services, the National Prosecuting Authority. We are all together in it. So our next meeting will now follow in November. Just some of the achievements out of that action plan. On the 31st of August, last week, we launched the tourist safety app called Secura. And this was led and sponsored by the private sector. And I really want to encourage everybody here today to download that app. Because it's not just for international tourists, it's also for local tourists. And when we launch it, I said at that launch last week that the launch of the Secura app also illustrates to us that any decision that you make today, you must overlay it with technology. And this is what the Secura app is all about. So that's the contribution from the private sector. From the public sector, from government side, the Department of Tourism has invested 174.2 million rand to train 2,300 tourism safety monitors. And our DG Taraj is here today. I don't interfere with SAM processes, but I do ask him from time to time, where are we? The tender is closed. I think the service providers have been appointed. And we look forward to launch the tourism safety monitors in October, end of October, November. We have also identified all the hotspots in our country. There are about 59 hotspots. And we've got agreement with the private sector that we will deploy the tourism monitors to all of those hotspots first. So the provinces have been informed how many monitors they will get. The training that we are offering to the tourism monitors is an accredited training course. It's at the NQF level 3. But we designed the curriculum, the content of the training, we designed that together with the private sector. Adding to this training, the South African Police Services will add another 5 days of training on the job. The police, they will be trained on police tactics, the awareness, and all of that. So I want to thank the South African Police Service also for their input. Then we have also, as the Department of Tourism, we have now joined the national joints. The national joints is where the security cluster of government meets on a regular basis. And they've agreed to put a representative of the Department of Tourism on the national joints, and then we have also asked the provinces to include a representative on the provincial joints. In terms of the National Prosecuting Authority, that's also working with us, they have now informed the Safety Forum that the President has assented to legislation for the use of audio and visual links to present evidence in court. The concern is that if a tourist is being attacked in South Africa, they go back home. And then thereafter, they have to travel back to appear in court. That is no longer necessary. they will be able to be linked virtually from wherever they are in the world. And I want to thank the MPA and the Department of Justice for putting through that amendment. Last week, this time say you learn all the time, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, we invited them to the Safety Forum. And they showed us technology with a tracking device. Now, the idea with a tracking device, when we started looking into this, was to look at the tracking device for the tourism monitors, for their safety, but also to track where they are. But I will advise you to engage with them, because this is a wonderful tool. But they have also agreed that we can incorporate this technology, this tracking technology, into the Secure app, and it will be managed together with TBCSA. TBCSA also have, Michael, I always forget the second part, tourism angels. I thought it's such a lovely word. And the tourism angels from TBCSA will work with the tourism monitors and government, and they are going to play a mentoring role with the tourism monitors. On the tourism arrival figures, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we've got the SG here today of Stats SA, so I'm not going to go into the figures, except once again to say thank you for always giving us reliable figures that we can use to plan. Now, and then the numbers speak for itself. South Africa remains an attractive destination for both domestic and international travelers. So we can be very proud of that. We've also looked at the spend by international tourists and domestic tourists. And we've seen the spend from international arrivals was 48 billion rand for the period January to June 2023. And this is a notable increase from the foreign arrival spend from January to June 2022, which was 21.5 billion. So here we can see the value of spend in our country. Also on the number of air access direct flights to South Africa, there's always work being done by various provinces. I know that the Eastern Cape, the Western Cape, KZN, they've got their own air access strategy. We are now working with them to see if we can have a national air access strategy that can cover the whole country. But we've seen direct flights from America, Brazil is also returning, China has returned already. Now my favorite, domestic tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know, I don't need to tell you that domestic tourism is the bedrock of the sector. And we must do all that we can to continue to grow domestic tourism, to get our local people to explore our country. Because the domestic tourism sector has already surpassed pre-COVID levels, and we thank South Africans for exploring our beautiful country and their contribution to the economy. So we know this week, between the 4th and the 10th of the 4th and the 10th of September is Travel Week, short-lived. I love that campaign. When any province, and I don't always go on Twitter, but when I see anything about short-lived, I just repost and repost. So this is the week where the industry come together and offer discounted travel deals to encourage locals to travel. And so far, we have got 860 deals or establishments that have signed up for the Short Left campaign, offering up to 50% discount and what Nomasonto call the Black Friday of tourism. So I want to also thank all of you that have joined this campaign, and I'm so pleased to see the increase in numbers of establishments that have joined the Short Left campaign. One announcement: to gear up for our busiest season that's coming and get ready to welcome more tourists, on the 19th of September, we will be launching the summer campaign at the Papala Nature Reserve in the Eastern Cape. Because we do want to showcase what is available for people who are making plans now already where to start. So my mission really is to go out there and to showcase all of these hidden gems in our country. We launched Tourism Month last month, MEC, here in the Northwest, at an amazing Black woman-owned lodge, the Tabalagai Lodge. And we were so well received, but we wanted to showcase also the growth of women in Women Month in tourism. And I want to thank them for receiving us there. Now, I've said that we are blessed to live in such a beautiful country. And I don't say that with bias, because the Daily Telegraph voted us as the best country to visit. And I think it's because of all your hard work that you are putting in. But it's one thing to be voted the best, as how you are going to sustain to be that best. So what I did last week, Friday, I engaged with the editor of the Daily Telegraph. First of all, to say thank you to him in person, and then discuss how we can work together. And immediately he had asked for some information that he will use in his publication. And we also discussed how to balance the issue of safety, because majority of visitors leave our country safe. We just had those bad incident with the British tourists in the city of Cape Town. But in general, people are happy about our country. You know, just to share with you my own experience of the warmth of the people of this country. The people of our country, they are the best asset that we have. I also visited provinces, Limpopo, Mpumalanga. I went to the Kruger National Park. I wanted to see for myself, and I was so warmly received by everyone. I stayed in a tent at a lodge, Mkambeni Lodge, but also to make a point and to illustrate the success story of that Mkambeni Lodge. You had a land claim. The land claim was settled. The community put the land in a separate holding company. But they then entered into partnership with the private sector, built the lodge, run the lodge, and worked there. I also went to the Northern Cape, a small little place called Rimfasmark, and then the Komani Sun, where we launched another exhibition center there. So I just want to share with you my experience is that we have got a beautiful country. Now, let's come to load shedding. Yes, times are tough, ladies and gentlemen. But despite the period of darkness that comes with the current load shedding status, there's a bright light at the end of the tunnel for the sector. So I'm very proud for the work that the DG of Tourism and the department is doing about implementing the Green Tourism Incentive Program that was started in recent years, where government provide the grant funding to private sector establishments, guest houses, hotels, to help them to retrofit their own buildings. This project has been a major success. I went to go and look at the Ho Hoek Hotel in just outside of Cape Town, and it's working very well. So far, we have dealt with 130 applications, and we have spent about 76.1 million. And, you know, in visiting these establishments, they will tell you about the massive savings on water and electricity. Now, just some other progress that I want to report on. Last week, I signed a collaborative memorandum of understanding with short-term rental platform Airbnb to collaborate on areas and of work to grow the tourism sector. In a week or so, I'll be signing an MOU with Google to collaborate with them to help promote and market South Africa even more. I've always said that we are living in a global village and the world owes us nothing. It is up to us to go out there and sell ourselves. And all of these digital platforms will certainly help us. One more event that's coming up, it is the tourism BRICS ministers that will meet at the end of October. Due to logistical reasons, we were not able to meet before the BRICS summit, but we got permission from DIRCO to have the meeting at the end of October. And again, we're working with the partners to help us to put together an event that they will never forget. In closing, just the participation today of the public sector in the conference of TBCSA is a living example of how we have worked together and to continue to work together. I can just say we must do, but we must do more and aggressively promote our destination with one clear voice and message. And that is why we held our first tourism marketing workshop on the 17th of July, and we are meeting again in October to refine our marketing strategy. What we are really dealing with is to make an assessment and an audit of what is out there in the market. There's a lot of fragmentation. And what we are trying to see is how we can work together, public and private sector, to market our country better. I would like to see in the future also that we have got, maybe it is there, I don't know, a calendar of events that's coming up, major events in our country, in all 9 provinces, so that we can market it together. Ladies and gentlemen, let me once again thank you for your hard work, your commitment, your dedication to tourism. Let's work together as partners to see the sector truly take its place in the economics, in our economy, in our country. So once again, thank you for inviting me here. I wish you a good conference. I've looked at the program, and what I'm interested in is that I saw your report of 2022, and that now as 2023, I look forward to the feedback on implementation of your 2022 conference that was held here in this beautiful venue in Sun City. MEC, yes, they must spend their money, they must leave their money behind. Ke leboga.